Good evening, everyone. This is Davey Jones with the Coaches Show, presented by Pizza Hut and WQEL and the OH Report. Tonight we're going to check in with Bucyrus football and Bucyrus volleyball, and then time permitting, I, along with Brian Skoronsky and Dan Messerschmidt, will be looking back at the first week of local high school football. Up first, Amber Christy and Bucyrus volleyball. Well, let's segue right into that right now. Head coaches Amber Christy, and we also have in the studios Lily Newman, Layla Ellis, who will be on the air with us, Emma Tyrell, Addison Ricker, and Addison Kimmery. And Coach, let's go straight to the team and talk about total numbers on our team this year.
Hi, thanks for having us tonight. We have 16 on the team this year.
That's varsity?
And JV.
And JV.
And
so
JV.
We do have a JV program.
We do.
Do we have young people on the JV program who segue up to the varsity?
Yes.
So they get playing time on the court. Now, I'm going to ask some questions that may be a little bit curveball for me and not for you, because I know football a lot better than I know volleyball. But how many players do you have on the court at one time?
6.
6 on at one time. So you're rotating people in and out then?
Correct.
Okay. We talked about is 16 fair for Bucyrus? That seems to me that I would think you'd want a few more.
I would like a few more. I sure would.
Now, you're in the school now, right?
I am.
And what do you do at Bucyrus High School?
I work in the Alternative Learning Center.
All right. What is that?
It is actually disciplinary. I mean,
I'd have been there all the time.
If kids aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing in
I'd have been there all the
classrooms,
time.
they come to me, and I just assist them with anything they need as far as their work goes.
So you get a chance to roam the halls. Can you recruit from the halls?
I can.
All right. Had a huge win last night over Marion Harding. Dan Messerschmidt came into the radio station, grabbed me by the throat, and said, they won last night, 3-2 over Marion Harding. He was excited about it. I suppose you are too.
We sure were. It was
Okay.
a tough game. We opened up, we won the first 2. Looked great. Girls
All right.
played hard. It was wonderful. And then the third and fourth, they kind of
came back and got you.
nosedived a little bit. So we just quit
What
talking.
were the first? What was your score of the first 2 games?
Oh, geez. You had to hit me there, didn't you?
That's my
I have
job.
it over on my notebook.
Yeah.
I think
Ballpark.
it was like 17, 16, something like that.
Okay. All right. Who was our first win of the season?
We went to Van Loo last Saturday.
And how did you do against? Obviously, you won. Was it a 3-0, 3-2? What?
It was 4. It took us 4, so it was 4-1.
4-1. Okay, so 3-1.
Or 3-1, excuse me.
3-1. Okay. I didn't do well in math either. Didn't do well in math either. Talk to me about that game, the first game last Saturday. What was your expectation? I know you went in wanting to win and thinking you're going to win, but realistically, what did you give your chances on Van Loo?
You know, I laughed because I woke up that morning and I said it's the first time I ever woke up and said I don't really have a feeling right now.
Really?
I didn't have that one way or the other feeling.
All right. How about Marion Harding? You got a bigger school there.
They were pretty decent sized. I was confident with the way the girls played on Saturday. I was real happy with going into that game last night.
Let's talk about who's coming up next for the Lady Redmen, the volleyball team.
Tomorrow night we have Crestview.
All right, Ashland Crestview?
Yes.
Now, they've been pretty good over the years, haven't they?
Yeah, yep. Last year was a phenomenal. We went 5 with them, and we did win 3-2. So I'm sure they're going to come to our house and want to get revenge, but we're going to have to pick it up tomorrow night.
Let's talk about our league, the N10. What teams are the teams? I know we respect everybody, but I'm putting this in a gentle way. What teams to respect, which means basically who are the top dogs in the league?
You know, I think the N10 is it's like separated half-half. I mean,
All right.
in there. I think Mohawk is always a very, very strong program. Cary is going to be tough this year as well. They're pretty loaded. I think they have a girl that might be going to Bowling Green to play, but Buckeye is always good. I think they're going to be down a little bit this year. So I think Cary and Mohawk.
Cary and Mohawk are the teams they've got the crown on their head until somebody knocks it off.
Yes, but you know the sport is so unpredictable. I mean, the way we played last night, the first 2, I would put them on the court against anyone and feel comfortable.
What happened the second 2?
I do have 8 players on the varsity team. We have 4 of them that don't come off the court.
Okay.
So I think they play hard, and I just think they get
got
a little
wore down?
fatigued. I do. They were tired last night. We didn't get off the court till 10 o'clock last night.
Wow.
So it was a long, because our JV team went 3.
All right.
So it was a long night.
And you're kind of filling me into some details here. The JVs play before the varsity, just like in basketball, then.
Yes, I do.
All right. With your permission, Coach, I'm going to segue over here into the young ladies that are here this evening. And I have Lily Newman, right?
Yep.
And Lily, you're a senior.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about why you play volleyball.
I started playing in 7th grade,
All right.
and automatically it became my favorite sport. And
Okay.
I started playing club ball with Coach Christy.
All right.
And I loved it even more.
All right. What other sports besides volleyball?
I throw and track,
All right.
and that's it.
That's it. Talk to me a little bit about why volleyball is your favorite. Why volleyball instead of basketball?
All the girls, together we've played since then, and we just have this connection, and we play good together, and I just love it.
All right. Do you see yourself taking volleyball to the next level, maybe into college?
Not really, no.
Not really. Do you have college plans?
Yes, I plan to attend the University of Findlay.
And major in?
I want to do their physical therapy program. I want to get my doctorate in physical therapy.
Okay, Doc, way to go. Good job. Let's segue over here to Layla Ellis. And my understanding is that your family has a personal relationship with Eric Clapton. Is that true?
No.
No?
Not too personal.
But that's a very popular Eric Clapton song. Now, did that have anything whatsoever, need to talk into the microphone, anything whatsoever to do with Layla becoming Layla?
Yeah, that's actually the exact reason my parents named me that.
Really?
Yep.
That was a great song. It really was. Let's talk a little bit about you. What's your role on the volleyball team?
I'm the libero, so pretty much I just protect and defend the backcourt.
All right. And how long have you been playing?
Pretty much my whole life.
All right. So you started in 7th grade with your
Yeah.
colleague here, Lily?
Yes.
All right. And you've gone all the way through. Is volleyball your favorite? You got your coach sitting right across the table from you.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
All right. Do you play other sports besides volleyball?
Yeah, I played basketball while I did my freshman year, but I'm coming back again.
All right. Good for you.
And then I played tennis last year too, so.
All right. Very good. College plans?
I'm not going to play sports in college, but I do plan on attending Bowling Green.
Bowling Green?
And majoring in education.
And major in education. And that is a good school for education. A lot of teachers come out of Bowling Green. If you had a choice of where you're going to go and teach, I mean, I realize that's a long ways off, but would you come back to Bucyrus or come back here to North Central Ohio?
I don't think so.
Really?
I think I want to go somewhere else.
And where would you like to go, young lady?
It'd be really nice to go to Florida or something like that.
I can see your point.
Out of state.
Just
but-
remember what it was like last Christmas, right?
yeah. Whatever happens.
And before the show began, people were getting upset about the fact that it's going to be 95 tomorrow. Yeah, you'll experience that virtually every day down in Florida. All right. Well, we would like to segue now to our colleague Brian Skoronsky, and he's got some games that we play that I've never been involved with before. The first one's called 10 Spin. And Brian, if you could explain 10 Spin to the ladies here and see what kind of answers we get.
Well, thanks, Davey. So this is a random game where we've got 10 questions, and it's going to go around. There's going to be a bunch of numbers on the board. You just tell me when to stop. If you guys have ever seen the show with the whammies, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, stop. When you say stop, it'll stop on a number, and I will ask you the corresponding question. Layla, you get to go first. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right, we're stopping on number 6.
It's a good thing you're doing this because I can't even read that from back here.
We're going to have you do an impression of Davy Jones. Do your best Davy Jones impression, Layla.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, wait a second. I remember, young lady, I was the one that treated you nice about Layla. Okay, go ahead.
Get it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Davy Jones. We're on there tonight with the Bucyrus Redmen. I'm your host, Davy Jones. Let's get into it. I'm going to segue over to Coach Christy.
I want audio of this, buddy. So because we're going to use this Friday night on the goal board. Okay.
Standing ovation back here.
Yeah.
Well earned. All right, Lily, it's your try.
Stop.
Stop button number 2. The player on the team who spends the most time on her hair is
Emma Terrell. For sure. She spent 45 minutes on her hair yesterday.
Oh, is Emma in the house? We as well? No. All right. So describe to me what is that process like?
She just thinks nothing is perfect. She just keeps doing it, and it looks the same, and it looks always good every time. But she just keeps doing it.
Always seeking perfection. I guess sometimes that's not a bad thing. All right, Coach Christy, it's your turn.
Stop.
Stop button number 5. If you could be an animal for a day, what creature would you want to be and why? Very thought-provoking. A lot of creatures out there.
Creature. I would think maybe a lamb.
A lamb, Coach Christy? Okay. So the penalty
You
flag
would
has
not
been
be a
thrown.
lamb.
Lily, set her straight, please.
You would not be a lamb. You'd be like, I don't know.
There's eagles and there's sharks. There's big whales.
No, she would just be an animal with a lot of authority, not a lamb.
Could be a lion.
A lion. That's what I was thinking.
I was just thinking a lamb's just so sweet and lovable and petting. And
So all the things unlike your normal life right now. That's what it feels like. Understandable. Davey, let's get you involved.
Say stop, Davey.
Stop.
Davey stops on a number 1. If
Okay,
you
I
could
can't read
trade
that, so
places, Davey, if you could trade places with anyone on Earth for a day, who would you like to be?
Dan Messerschmidt.
Oh, yeah. Dan's got it going on. I was told he
Yeah.
shot a 42 on the golf
Dan-
course this week.
Run that by me again.
He shot a 42 this week in his league.
That's very good in 2 holes.
So he might have not given the full story, is what you're saying.
No, Dan, I'll tell you right now, I've known Dan for well over 40 years. He was a fantastic journalist at the Telegraph Forum in sports, and he and I became very, very good friends, and I was absolutely delighted when he chose to come to the radio station as sports director. He's a great guy to work with.
So Davey's been admiring all these years, wants to know what it's like to be Dan. All right, let's do one more round of this.
right.
We're back to you, Layla.
Stop.
Stop button number 2. The player on the team who spends the most time with her hair. So, all right, let's spin this a little bit different. Tell me about your hair routine on game day and what happens. How do you like to get in the zone and ready in terms of your looks?
I pretty much just throw my hair up and whatever it does, and I go on the court. I don't really spend too much time on my hair.
So no braids or anything. It's just like the messiest bun that you can possibly toss together.
Usually, yep.
Okay. All right, Lillian, you can confirm that's kind of the style for her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right, we're going to stop on number 8. What is a hidden talent that you possess?
I don't think I have any hidden talents.
yes, you do.
Nothing. You put it all out for the world to see?
I can't think of any.
Amber's got the challenge flag.
What?
Lily's really good at math. Lily's really
Oh,
good at
I'm
math.
really good at math. Really good at math.
Pretty good at slam dunking your coach, too.
No,
so-
don't do it right now in my head. Because what if I mess up?
So what's your favorite kind of math? Like, are you into
Geometry.
Geometry, so that's
Yes.
like the study of shapes and stuff. So kind of blow our minds real fast and
No.
like break down like
I haven't taken geometry since freshman year. So.
okay.
And I'm
So x plus y maybe doesn't equal a, or does it? Exactly. All right, Amber, you got one more try here.
honestly don't know.
Help me out, guys. Stop.
All right, we're going to stop on number 5. Oh, the same animal. So, all right, so this is the world saying, Amber, a lamb's not going to work. What's a better animal that you want to try out for a day?
I would say a lion.
That's what I said.
I'm going to give
Better.
you that.
You know what?
I'm going to
Upgrade.
give you that.
All right, that's
true.
10 spin with the Lady Redmen. Davey, we'll throw it back to you with more chit-chat with the ladies.
One more question for you. Who's our next opponent, and when and where?
Our next opponent is
Yeah.
tomorrow night, and we have Crestview.
Ashland. Okay, we talked a little bit about that. What do you
Yes.
expect from Crestview?
Well, we played them earlier in the summer, and
All right.
we were kind of even up. So it'll be,
Who
A
got
good
better
match going
since
on.
the middle of the summer then?
I'm
right?
sure we did. We've improved since that time. We have a little different girls playing,
Yeah.
you think?
All right. All right. Well, we're good luck tomorrow night against Ashland Crestview, and we appreciate you young ladies coming in and talking to us about Bucyrus volleyball. Good luck the rest of the season, okay?
Thank you.
All right. We're going to break for just a second. We're going to come back. We've got Bucyrus football on board. That comes up in just a moment.
He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Good evening, everyone. This is Davy Jones again from the studios of WQEL with the OH Report and Pizza Hut. On the Coach's Show this Wednesday evening, it's Bucyrus football that's up next, and it's our privilege to welcome to our microphones John Butchko, the head coach, and a couple of young men, Cam Lewis and Blaine Bartow, who I've had the opportunity to talk to before. Coach, short end of a 53-8 score. I know this is not what you were hoping for or expecting. We had the chance to talk a little bit earlier this month and talk a little bit about what went wrong, and then we'll talk a little bit about what went right and what to look forward to.
Well, the first thing's what went wrong. We had 3 empty red zone possessions early. Had it down inside the 5 twice, came away with 0 points, gave it up once by way of a turnover, another time on downs. We had some really expensive and untimely penalties that extended their drives, and credit to Riverdale, they just kept kind of pushing down on us, kept their pressure on us, offensively and defensively. As far as what went right, I think our young offensive line that, had always been a question mark for us, we got out of that without surrendering a sack, and I think some
Pretty good.
Absolutely. We had that as a huge question mark going into the season. And our younger players, some of them playing in their first varsity experience, I thought they played very hard, with a decided outcome. Maybe they weren't always in the right spot, but their motor was moving, at a varsity level.
One of the things I noticed when I took a look at the box score off Crawford County now was the passing game above average. We're still having trouble in the trenches running the football. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, we are having trouble running the football, and I don't know that it ever resolves itself this year. We start 2 freshmen up front, 4 freshmen are regulars, and a sophomore is a regular on the offensive line. So that's 5 guys in about 7 or 8 positions that are getting their first smell of varsity football in what you guys all know is a very quality conference against a very quality opponent week in and week out. Our passing game is what we think we can do the best. These 2 guys right here are excellent when it comes to catching the football. They're joined by Tarikas Cozy, Christian Neal, and Braden Campbell, of course, catching the ball from Malachi Bayless. And we think that that's a way that we can be competitive and be competitive faster, is to make, those linebackers play away from the line of scrimmage, not play you downhill and have to chase some really speedy guys around. And I think we'll firm some things up through the year. I hope we do. We firm some things up so we can start to play in a few more competitive games.
Passing game, 12 for 28, no picks. That's good. 200 yards total. One of the things I noticed in the box score, Malachi, 10 for 25 for 175. Then Braden Campbell, 2 for 3 for 25 yards. Who's Braden Campbell?
Well, he's a sophomore. He's in his first year out. My first old guy moment in coaching, actually my first game as a head coach against Bucyrus. His dad was the starting quarterback. So
that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
you related to the guy back in the early – how did that guy – he just got out of school. How can he have a kid that old already?
That's right. And I have to check his birth certificate. I don't believe he's as old as he says he is. But he's a young man that's coming a long way. He starts at one of our outside receiver spots, but I think he's pushing to get on the field maybe at quarterback, and certainly in the future with 2 years of eligibility remaining after this one, a guy that we got to get live snaps at some point or another, and he doesn't have a chance to play in a JV game. Since he plays so much on the varsity on Friday night, we're not going to send him on Saturday morning, so we have to kind of play him in some different spots than you typically would.
Talk to me about how he threw the football. I mean, was it did you put him under center, or do you have him getting a rollout and a pitch, and then he threw the ball later? How did that all happen?
No, we put him in at quarterback as the game was decided, and just out of the shotgun, a quick 3-step drop, and he does one thing very well. He gets rid of the ball very quickly. He's got a live arm. He's a very accomplished baseball player, and I think that's translating to throwing the football. And maybe he doesn't understand the reads. Maybe he doesn't understand what the defense is doing to him, but he can get that ball out of his hand pretty quickly. So that helps his case there, going 2 for 3, and he's not afraid to come down to the tailbacks, which we beg our quarterbacks to do, come down to the tailbacks, come down to the checkdowns to kind of replace what we lose in the running game.
I remember his dad. He was a pretty good-sized guy. How big is Braden?
I would say he's probably 5'10" and maybe 170 pounds.
His dad was a little bigger, I think.
His dad was quite a bit bigger, and he looks like he's going to grow and develop a little bit. He's still, skinny like a sophomore usually is. But again, I think he did a wonderful job coming in without a whole lot of reps in practice and not a whole lot of reps throughout the preseason at quarterback, and he cemented himself as the number 2 spot. And should anything happen to Malachi, we feel very comfortable saying get us to the end of the half, get us to the end of the game, or play multiple games at quarterback if the need would arise.
All right. I'm going to go back just a little bit and talk about one of those red zone issues that we had. My understanding is from Dan that you had a tremendous long pass that got you inside the 5-yard line, and then we stalled. Did we try to run the ball in at that point in time? What was the scoop? I didn't hear the game, didn't see the game. Talk to me about that.
Well, we had 2 of those trips after a long pass play. One, we got down inside of probably the 2-yard line, tried to run ISO like every other football program in the world does, and we don't block the Mike linebacker, who's every defense's best player, and he nearly takes the handoff from Malachi, and that results in a fumble. And then we get it down there again, and we go 4 plays and out. Couldn't even budge him, this far.
If you had to do over again, Coach, what would you change in that situation?
I don't think I would have changed anything. It's one of those that's the only thing you can do.
That's
down
what we're
there.
supposed to do, and we got to learn how to do it.
That's right, and we haven't played a whole lot of snaps in our system to have a whole lot of the sight adjustments when it comes to throwing the ball with a 12-yard field maximum. So I think we did exactly what it was we were supposed to do, and we just came up empty twice, and we'll learn from that. We talked about it Saturday morning in films, and we worked on it today, and hopefully we just continue to get better at it.
Coach, when you have 36 yards of rushing in a football game and 200 yards of passing, obviously you just telegraphed to everybody, and pretty much everybody knew that you guys were going to throw the football. What do we got to do in order to overcome the concept that they're going to be looking for your pass? They're going to be defending for the pass. They're coming in to Bucyrus High School, and they know you're going to throw the football, and they're not going to maybe jam the box at all because they don't trust you to run.
Well, I think we have to continue to make a concerted effort to get better at it. We use our passing game to replace what's lost in our run game, but we still have to get better. You're going to face a situation at some point or another where you have to run the football, and when we're able to do that, or when we're forced to do that, we want to be able to do that.
Let's talk about something good here. We did have a nice touchdown, a 12-yard touchdown pass, Malachi to Blaine Bartow, who is here this evening. And let's talk a little about that play and how it developed and the good result that came from it.
Well, we told them at halftime we wanted a possession each way, offense and defense, with our ones to have something to feel good about getting on the bus. And we moved the ball well. We moved it efficiently. And we get down into the red zone. We called for a sprint protection pass play. Blaine, sealed the corner first and then released into the flat. He was wide open. They forgot about him as he looked like a blocker at the start of the play. Caught it in the flat, and then like a toss play, like any other running back with the ball in his hands, he knew how to go find the end zone. And we turned around and threw it to him on the conversion as well.
Now, was it a similar play?
Almost identical, going the opposite direction, and just one went to the left and the other went to the right, and he snuck inside the pylon for 2. So again, as that completed their night, they had something to feel good about getting on the bus and building towards next week, which brings us to a great opponent here on Friday night. And
we're going to talk about that in just 1 second here. The 12-yard touchdown pass to Malachi to Blaine Bartow and the 2-point conversion, very, very good. This week's opponent, Danville. I think Danville beat us last year. Talk to me a little bit about Danville and what you are expecting.
Well, first of all, this is a great program. Every year that the schedule comes out, I think they print it all the way through the state championships. They expect to be there come November, and I don't know that this team's any different than last year's team, which is said to have lost a lot of firepower to graduation, but it looks like they've just reloaded.
Yeah.
They're led by their quarterback. He jumps off the film on both sides of the football. I think as a fan of this game, I've enjoyed watching him prepare all week. The way he plays defensively and the way he leads his team offensively. They're very disciplined. They're very intentionally physical, and it's a great test for us.
All right. This is going to sound a little bit repetitive, but how do we improve our run game against Danville so they're not keen on our pass game?
Well, we're going to try to formation them into some bad spots, and we're going to try to use some of our flex players like Cam sitting here to help, disguise some things so we can run it a little bit better, maybe get the linebackers looking in the backfield so we can open up some lanes for that young, inexperienced offensive line.
All right. And let's talk a little bit about how do we improve our defense. Now, I realize a lot of the scoring that happened is because our fumbles, we put them in good positions to score. So talk to me a little bit about how can we improve our defense so we have a little bit more of a competitive
I think we've simplified things here in the last couple of weeks. We don't play all that many coverages, and we don't have that many different fronts as we tried to have going into week one or in the preseason. So I think that helps. We've moved some personnel around a little bit. I don't want to give this away in case anybody's watching, but
there's going to be people watching. You need to worry about that. Yeah,
absolutely. We've made some personnel changes, and we're going to kind of shuffle the cards a little bit differently this week. And again, but it starts with us. It's about us right now. No disrespect to Danville. It's about our effort. It's about our preparation. I think we've had a significant increase in the way things have gone at practice and in the effort and the level of intensity at practice, and the amount of guys just simply watching film, preparing for an opponent is probably, we've logged more minutes on huddle than we ever have before. So those all seem like positive things. But again, it's about us and our effort right now, even though we've faced such a great football team Friday.
Very good. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to segue over and talk to a couple of the young men that are sitting around the table here. And I do appreciate the fact that they stopped by to talk to us tonight. And I'm looking for my paperwork here as to who we've got Cam Lewis and Blaine Barta. And I should know these guys. They've been on the radio with me before. And gentlemen, let's talk a little about the senior year. You're both seniors, correct? What are you looking forward to as a senior, and how do you hope to accomplish them? Let's talk with Blaine first.
I hope that we can get the ball moving a lot more, and I hope we can just start winning.
Just start winning, right? You've told me that before, Blaine. We gotta. You're down to your senior year, partner. You know, what are you planning to do to help make that possible?
As a senior, I think I need to lead more.
Really?
And get everybody.
What'd you do during the summer, buddy?
Lifted. We had lifting and football every day.
You feel better than you did last year?
I do feel a lot better.
All right. Your role on this football team, I know you catch a lot of passes. Talk to me a little bit about some of the other things that are expected from you as a senior leader.
Well, I am the running back, so I run the ball. But
all right.
Running's not really the option right now, so I'm catching a lot more than I'm used to.
All right. You're working on catching the ball more than running the ball. Okay.
Right.
Let's talk to your colleague here, Cam. We've called your name a lot this year and over the years. Talk a little bit about your role on this football team as a senior. What did you do over the summer to make it better than last year?
I try to be a leader in the weight room,
all right.
Get guys motivated, because we used to lift early in the morning, and it'd be hard, get guys motivated and get up and lift, get guys there. But, I've moved a lot around on defense, so, I've played the star, the Redmen, linebacker. Wherever coach puts me, I'm willing to play.
So you're playing both offensively and defensively, and your offensive role, I know you've caught some passes as well, but if you were to have a position on offense, it is what?
I would say slot.
Okay,
like inside receiver.
And talk to me a little bit about defensively. What are you doing?
I'm Mike, so middle linebacker.
All right. How about you as well, Blaine? Defensively, what positions?
I play cornerback on
play
the
corner?
defensive side.
All right. Yeah. Very good, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by. Let's talk. I'm not going to let you go yet. What are you going to do after high school?
After high school, I plan on joining the workforce, getting a job and just trying to move up in the ranks.
All right. Good luck. With no college?
No, probably not.
All right. Trade school?
Yeah. Well, if trade school, I'd go for an electrician, become a journeyman, get my card for that.
That's a good job, buddy. That's a good job. How about you, Blaine?
I want to go to a trade school and do like HVAC or electrician as well.
All right, and become what?
An electrician.
Electrician? Nothing wrong with that at all, buddy. I hope you guys can start a business together. We'll get you a sponsorship on the radio and the OH report at the same time. Other sports other than football?
Baseball.
Baseball? I remember watching you play baseball last year. And
I run track.
Run track. Very good. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming by. Now, I understand we've got something from Pizza Hut. Brian, what's the deal with Pizza Hut? We're getting a microphone ready here.
Yep. David, well, we've got a game that we're going to play right after this. Great question from Pizza Hut. This is from Rod Steiger, the owner of the Bucyrus and the Galion locations. Gentlemen, create the perfect meal from Pizza Hut. No budget, what all do you want to eat so you can get the whole smorgasbord? Fill me in.
I'll go first. I'll probably get the brownie. You know, they got a pretty good brownie dessert.
You can create your own, though. He can create anything he wants, right?
Yeah, I guess if you want to throw some pepperoni on that brownie or any kind of combination.
I'm good with that. I'm good on the pepperoni, but definitely the brownie, and then some honey barbecue wings would definitely be in there.
You dip your wings in any sauce?
Ranch.
Ranch. Not a blue cheese guy.
No. I'm regular. I'm a regular man.
Okay. All right. Build the perfect Pizza Hut meal for me.
I would probably get honey barbecue wings, garlic parmesan wings, and a pepperoni pizza with ranch.
No dessert for you, huh?
No dessert.
Good guy. Disciplined guy. I think because he came out of the gates, he wants the dessert first. He's diving right into the brownies. I'd be the same way. I kind of like those cinnamon breadsticks that they got. I'm probably starting there, and then I'll figure it out after that. But guys, we're going to now shift, and we're going to play a game called On the Same Page. So you all have whiteboards in front of you. You've got some markers, and what this is basically, can you get on the same page as Coach? So try to think as Coach Butchko would think. So 5-pack of questions. We'll see who gets the most correct out of you two players. Here we go. Question number 1. What is Coach Butchko's favorite drill at practice? Not necessarily what you do the most, but that you can tell when you look in his eyes, he's really enjoying watching you guys go maybe through some pain, some suffering, or it could even be something that's a little bit lighthearted. Coach wrote down his answer immediately. He knows, of course, his favorites.
I got it.
All right, let's see. Go ahead and show. What do you guys think?
Scout O when he's at
That is a fun time. Actually, what pup though? Pass under pressure. The pass under pressure is my favorite one.
So explain that, Coach. What is the pass under pressure, and why do you enjoy it?
Well, we started it at Ridgedale out of necessity. We take our 5 starting offensive linemen and our starting quarterback, and we have thrown the ball to like water boys and coaches and all of that, and we draft the best defense we can to give us whatever blitzes we're going to see that week from our opponent. When you have limited numbers, you have to get a little inventive. So that really, it became an important drill, and it became one of my favorites, very long ago. And we incorporate it here. And these guys start on our offense, but oftentimes they're on the defensive side in pup. So that's my favorite drill. But that is a close second when I get to play scout quarterback.
And how is Coach at quarterback? Does he sling it okay still?
He's pretty solid.
Yeah, he's got a good arm still.
You might want to say that one again. My daughter's watching, man. We might want to say that one again. Dad still got it.
Question 2, guys. Name 2 bands or musical artists on Coach's playlist. So 2 bands or musical artists that if he's in charge, if he's the DJ at practice that day, you know for sure you're going to hear. And as long as you can get one of the 2, this will be a correct response. So we're giving you 2 chances at this one.
Can I just pick a song?
Do you know the artist of the song?
I think so.
Yeah, let's put down the artist.
I've never heard him play music.
2.
This is a tough one. A lot of music out there. Coach seems to me like a pretty eclectic guy that on any given day it could be country, then maybe some Yanni, some Amy Grant. Who knows where he's going with all the mixture.
We're going to get Hanson on here, Slice.
Yeah, we had a Hanson answer last week.
That'll never be the answer.
So we're not getting the Hanson twins this week. All right, boys, go ahead and show. So we've got Metallica, Zach Bryan, TLC, and Led Zeppelin. Coach?
I have the Rolling Stones and Jimmy Buffett.
I know those guys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've never heard of those guys.
All right, so it seems like TLC Waterfalls, that's a common song that comes up at practice.
Yeah. No, we were playing it on the bus right home, and he was singing it.
That happened.
All right, let's move on to question 3. Coach just yelled at somebody at practice. Without looking, who was it? Probably. In other words, who does it seem like Coach has to get on a little bit more than the standard player on the squad?
Oh, boy.
It looks like they're kind of looking at each other.
He picked me.
Coach is kind of looking back and forth, too, like, which one of these guys is it? Nope.
Yeah, that's...
He did have one name down. I won't say it. I read it. But he's changed. Switching it up.
50-50 here.
All right, so we're going to do it opposite this time. Go ahead. Yeah, finish out your answer. We'll have Coach show his answer and explain, and then we'll have you guys show. So go first, Coach.
Just as my offensive position, so Malachi, who starts at quarterback, is usually the one that gets to hear it, more often than others. But there are some other candidates that are way up there.
Yeah, who's some of these other candidates, boys?
We chose each other.
All right, Cam, what's something the coach has said to you before that, what we can say here on the air that has stuck with you?
Well, I know he usually gets on him for having his helmet up, so that's why I really picked him. He never puts his helmet down.
Yeah, I always have my helmet up.
So I thought for sure it'd be him.
It could be worse. Could be worse than just a helmet malfunction. All right, we're still sitting at 0 correct answers right now, gentlemen. 2 more to go, though, so a long way. Question 4. Which Bucyrus restaurant does Coach Butchko frequent the most? So where can you picture him sitting on a patio, maybe on a Saturday night, ordering, getting carry out all the
I
time?
feel like this is the common answer.
Because you got some decent choices over here in Bucyrus, of course. I drive by him on the way to the studio.
I figured.
All right, who do you think, guys?
I said Baker.
Old 30.
Baker's and Old
man.
30, both owned by the same people. Great restaurants. But Coach?
I'm sorry to our sponsor, but I went with Giannino's. I ordered a lot of carry out from there, like an insane amount of carry out from there.
All right.
I do like Old 30 though, but the most is Giannino's.
We can still get on the same page here, guys, at question 5, okay? You can only win 1 game this season. Who is it that you want to beat? You just get 1 victory. What's the most important team that you get the upper hand on when you go toe-to-toe? Winford. Now, gentlemen, I know that hasn't happened since I was in diapers. What's it going to take to beat the Royals this season?
I feel like we came close last year, and we should have had it last year, but we just had some mistakes that we always make, fumbles, flags. So I think we just play the same as we did last year. We should have it.
I think if we prep right and get our minds straight, that we can play good with anybody in the league.
Well, one way that we try to get our mind straight here on the Coach's Corner is a little round of Bean Boozled is what we call this. So all of you, you've got a mystery jelly bean that's just been placed in front of you. So, Davey, you're involved too. What you guys got to do, you just go ahead and pop that in your mouth, and it's either going to be something real tasty or something you wish that you didn't put between your teeth on your taste buds. It looks like we've got at least 2 nasties. Davey's not happy.
That's not very good.
Did we go 0 for 4 here?
That's terrible.
Nobody's blown chunks yet on the Coach's Corner this season.
I think I got a good one.
I think that had to be liver and onions.
Okay. So Coach got liver and onions.
I think.
Let's see. Some of the other top candidates here were
I
stinky
definitely got
socks. We had some dirty dishwater.
That could have been dirty dishwater too.
Some barf. Oh, Coach, I think you ate a stink bug is what happened.
Even better.
So that happens here on the Coach's Show. How was your experience, Davey?
Yeah, we're not done yet, are we?
Well, just with the jelly bean.
You mean with the jelly bean?
Yeah.
Let's not play that game again.
All right, Davey, take it away, pal.
All right. I tell you what we're going to do. We'd like to thank the guys from the football team. Wish you a lot of luck. That game will be on 92.7. Your game this week is on 92.7. And we are wishing you the best of luck as far as this football game this weekend. And I appreciate you guys stopping by and taking time out of your very busy day. We're going to break for a second. We're going to come back, and we're going to have Brian and Dan a little bit on radio and television. We're going to talk about the first weekend of high school football that just went by from their perspective. Details come up in just a few moments right here on 92.7 WQEL and the OH Report.
45, he's got 1 man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Good evening again, everybody. This is Davy Jones for the OH Report at 92.7 WQEL. And we're wrapping things up tonight with a little extra. We're going to be talking with a couple of the sports personalities in radio and television around North Central Ohio and their impressions and thoughts after the first week of local football. We've got Brian Skoronsky from the OH Report, Dan Messerschmidt, who's God's gift to sports journalism at 92.7 FM. And gentlemen, we had a really nice weekend of football. We got a Thursday night, a Friday night. First of all, how'd you feel about that? Dan, first, how'd you feel about having a Thursday night and a Friday night?
Well, of course, from our standpoint, but I speak for OH Report as well, we were able to get 4 games on.
Sure.
Which on a normal week we would only get 2 because of having 2 stations. So from that standpoint, our coverage was increased a lot.
All right. How would you feel, Brian?
I wish there would be more teams that play on Thursday night, that early kickoff. And then I'd also like to see some high school teams, and I know that starting in, this weekend they have to start competing with the college game, but some Saturday high school football games would be sweet too, just because of what
Saturday
Dan just
evening's
outlined.
not bad,
Just having an opportunity for more coverage for us, I think, is always a plus, a big bonus.
All right. Let's talk about Thursday night. We had 3 games in the immediate area. All 3 games were absolutely sensational, excellent football games. Talk to me about that. Let's go Dan first.
Well, of course, we didn't get to cover the Colonel Crawford at Hannibal River game because that was like a 2.5-hour drive for them down to the river. They were able to eke out a 21-20 win over what Coach Jake Bruner described as a pretty good Hannibal River team.
They went deep in the
playoffs last year, yes. So and good, I think, good tradition down there. So after making that drive and then being able to come home with a win, I think that was really great for the program.
All right, Brian, how'd you feel about that? Did you have any feelings about the Colonel Crawford Hannibal River game?
I didn't even know the final score until Dan just said it, so I'm glad the Colonel Crawford won and is off to a 1-0 start. I was at the Winford Galion game, which did come down to the final possession, and Winford had an opportunity. And what I thought was interesting about that game is when you watch the first quarter of it, it definitely looks like Winford was not, I don't want to say that they weren't ready to play, but it didn't look like they were going to be able to compete, and I was anticipating maybe a running clock in the second half. So I got to give them a ton of credit for kind of getting their act together and then having big explosive plays. All 3 of their touchdowns were long plays, big plays where they identified something in the Galion defense and they attacked it. And then Ashton Warren, I mean, the dude's just a crazy athlete. We saw that on full display. But on the flip side of that too, Galion, they have a lot of pieces that are back from a season ago, specifically on defense. I really like the Tigers this year to be highly competitive in the MOAC, which I feel is wide open. There's not necessarily a dominant team in there like we saw last year when Highland and Clear Fork were very, very dominant. Shelby had a young quarterback. I think it's going to be wide open and maybe one of the more fun races that we have in the area to watch in terms of a league.
All right. When you take a look at Winford and Galion, this is a series that is reinventing itself. They had 3 games back, I think, around 2010, 11, and 12 in that general area. Was
right? Yeah, when Galion was in the NCC at the time, and so they were playing league games at that point.
And now they're kind of rekindling that relationship. Mm-hmm. Other than the fact that Galion's Division 4 and Winford's Division 6, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
This is a good series. Although if I'm Galion, I'm probably thinking, oh boy, I'm playing a Division 6. It's really not helping me out that much for the playoffs.
Yeah. Other than if Winford gets back to being Winford and they're a 7-8 win team, even though they're Division 6, that would still get Galion some points.
All right. Let's talk about the final game. There we had Tiffin, Calvert, and Mohawk. And this is one that I really, going into it, I was very unsure. I would have been difficult to pick a winner before that game started.
Big rivalry there too. Back in the old MAL days, that they were league rivals, and they're not that far apart.
Geographically,
Sycamore to Tiffin, yeah. So that's a huge rivalry.
Brian, what did you think about that?
That one comes down to the wire every time they seem to hook up, and it just feels like Mohawk that they have trouble getting over the hump in that one. And losing week 1, it's just one loss. You get the 10 weeks, but I feel like it carries a little bit more extra weight, whereas it's the total opposite feeling when you're going to practice after a 1-0 start. So I think for Calvert, they just kind of seem to have their number. They get away with a couple of big plays at the end of the game to end up winning. A bit of controversy, I think, in that one, too, to finish things out. Not unlike last year, too. So for Mohawk, it's probably some bitter disappointment. And if you're Calvert, you're just smiling all the way with another rivalry dub.
There you go. Let's talk about Friday night. We had some games. Let's talk about Riverdale Bucyrus first. Very disappointing for Bucyrus. I know they were planning on making a better showing than that. Dan?
Yeah, as Coach Butchko said on his segment of the show tonight, they had basically 3 early trips into the red zone, and one was as close as the 2-yard line, first and goal from the 2, and came in with no points on any of those. So would that have changed the momentum of the game? Possibly. Not saying it would have won the game, but it certainly would have made it a lot closer. So the score probably wasn't quite indicative of what Bucyrus was able to do, at least offensively.
Bucyrus needs to be able to do more than just throw the football. They're defending the pass, and he was 10 of 25, I think, in passing. But still, at the same time, passing is going to become more difficult if they know that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, I think Coach Butchko, not wanting to give away a lot, he is going to have a running game out of the passing game. There's going to be a lot of show. They like to throw a lot of slants. They like to run some screens, that sort of thing. So it's basically a glorified running attack from that standpoint. Not all of their passing is all downfield.
Brian, you were at a very good game on Friday night. Tell us about it.
I was at a Richland County rivalry, a backyard rivalry. Lucas and Clear Fork playing for the the third time in the last 4 years, and this one, all 3 occasions have come down to the wire. This one, no exception, double overtime, and it definitely felt like the vibe was that Lucas, this was their game to win on the road. Clear Fork had a quarterback making his first career start. They weren't very effective on offense, though neither team was in the second half, but just the way that it played out, it was a very Cubs-like style of game, grind it out, win with defense, punting, field position, the whole 9 yards, and then they just made a couple of decisions at the end. The final play of the game, that they throw it. That's something that Lucas doesn't do a whole lot of. They have a wide open guy in the back of the end zone that could have been for the win. It's wildly underthrown. It gets picked off by a freshman making his first career varsity game start, of course.
He's going to remember that, isn't he?
Hey, and he walked off. He kept the game ball. He got mobbed. It was right in front of the student section. So the environment, as good as you can possibly have for a small school football in and around North Central Ohio. So it was a great game to be a part of. And all 3 of those matchups of the last 4 years I was at, and they were all great. And I think one of the coolest storylines is, if you guys don't know, Lucas, they pop off fireworks at their stadium after every single scoring play. So last year, Lucas had the lead the entire game at home. They were doing their fireworks display. Everyone's having a good time. And then Clear Fork scores a game-winning touchdown under 2 minutes ago, and somebody down the block set up their own fireworks and popped them off. And then the same thing happened in the game just on Friday night, where they had their own fireworks, not necessarily to rub it in, but just to get on Lucas's
Brian,
level.
where did you graduate from high school?
I am a Moffat County graduate from Northwest Colorado.
Oh, well, how did you get here to Ohio?
I jumped in my car. It took me about 25 hours to get here, Davey.
No, but what brought you to North Central Ohio?
I came out here for college. I got some work, and I just decided, hey, Davey Jones is someone that I aspire to be like one day, and then here I am.
Just like Dan Messerschmidt, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, where did you go to college?
I went a couple years at North Central State, and then I finished up at Ashford University.
Okay, very good. Dan, let's talk a little bit about the game between Northmore and Upper Sandusky. This was a good game, and it was a little bit closer than what that score indicates.
Yeah, I was able to catch a little bit of that on the way back from Riverdale. But I think basically the difference in that game was 2 pick sixes later in the game, because, as you indicated, the score was a lot closer than that, and Northmore's defense just, turned the thing around.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Hopewell, Loudon, and Cary. Everybody talk. You first, Brian. Hopewell, Loudon, and Cary. A little bit of a surprise there.
I would say yes and no. 2 years ago, when Cary won the state championship, they won 15 games. Their lone loss was to Hopewell Loudon. I believe they beat them last year. They've gone kind of back and forth in that rivalry, but I wasn't surprised at all to hear about that. Cary's got a good team. I think they're going to be the front runner in the N10 when they do get into the league, but Hopewell Loudon's one hell of a program that typically is in at least the regional semifinals, competing to go to a regional championship game, so I didn't think much of the score.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, maybe the score itself was a little surprising. Not that they lost, as Brian said, to Hopewell Loudon, because they've been a perennial playoff team and got a really nice program going on over there. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Galion is going to be an acid test for them as far as moving forward in the N10.
Brian, what's the OH report going to be doing this weekend?
Oh, Davey, I'm glad you asked. We've got a ton of games. We're going to be live and free. East Knox at Crestview. The Bulldogs coming off of a win. Crestview, who had back-to-back undefeated regular seasons, dropped their Week 1 game. Can they bounce back? We'll be at Hillsdale. They're going to be taking on Lucas, our first ever live stream from the brand-new, stunning facility over there in Hillsdale Country. Shout out Simonson Construction. We'll have Ontario at Centerburg. And Centerburg, even though they had a home game last week, they had to play it away from home because because of field problems, they are actually going to be playing in the heart of Ohio this Friday night. You can watch it on our airwaves. South Central is going to be at Northmore. Golden Knights looking to go to 2-0. We'll have Upper Sandusky at Mount Gilead. I'm going to be over at Clear Fork. They are going to be hosting Granville. And then we'll have highlights of Cary at Galion and Lexington at Shelby.
Dan Messerschmidt, what do we got going on 92.7 and 107.5?
Well, on WQEL 92.7, we will have the Danville at Bucyrus game. It'll be Coach John Butchko's first home game for Bucyrus. Yes, and then on WBCO, we will have the Cary at Galion game.
Wow, that ought to be a good one.
Yeah, that should be a good game. So, hopefully the fans tune in for those games. If they can't make it out to the game, we encourage the fans to go to the games. That's really the number one thing. But if you can't make it to the game, listen to us or watch OH Report.
Very good. We'll have the phone board on 92.7 immediately following Bucyrus hosting, help me out,
Danville.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, the game on 107.5, which is
Cary at Galion.
Very good. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing some time with us this evening. I do appreciate it. We'd like to thank all of our guests this evening, John Butchko and the Bucyrus football team, Amber Crispy, the Bucyrus volleyball team, Brian Skoronsky and Dan Messerschmidt for their input, engineering Adam Thompson from the OH Report, John Kreider from WQEL, and Randy Bigley up in the newsroom. This is Davy Jones. I'll be seeing you on the phone board this Friday evening, right after Danville at Bucyrus on 92.7 FM, Cary and Galion on 107.5. Thanks for listening and watching. Have a great evening, everybody.